Hi, I'm Sam.
And I'm Max.
And this is Movie Nostalgia, where we give you an honest review of the movies we've meddled with so mischievously over at Maybe Movies.
And on this very seasonal episode, we will be looking at one of the best years in cinema, 1984's Gremlins. This is the Christmas summer movie, as it came out on the 8th of June, 1984, starring Hoyt Axton, Zach Galligan, Phoebe Cates, the 80s stalwart Dick Miller, with a brief appearance by Judge Reinhold. Directed by Joe Dante, produced by Steven Spielberg, from a script, one of the first scripts I think he had picked up by Chris Columbus. And also apparently featuring a host of stars of the Silver Age of Hollywood as well.
A few, yes, quite a few, yes.
Yeah, I don't know most of them, and the only one, and I can't even remember the actor's name, unfortunately. Guy at the Mobile Garage.
Yes.
That he gets he sells...
The smokeless ashtray, yes.
Yeah, so he's one of the protagonists from The Thing from Another World.
I thought he looked a bit familiar. Right, yeah, okay.
And as I said, one of the best of 84, because it appears like when this came out, it was vying for first place quite a bit through the summer with Ghostbusters.
We're ready to believe you!
Yeah.
Not surprisingly. And it is a childhood favourite, to say the least. You can go first this time.
As you said, it's a great movie. I actually have an interesting first time watch for this. I didn't see it at the movies. Unfortunately, parents decided, well, I say unfortunately, my parents decided to take us to see Ghostbusters, not Gremlins. So we saw it when it came out on video in early 1985. Yeah, I actually had a little mini freak out. As some of you may know, the early versions of the original film were actually a horror movie with smaller comedic elements to it. And the first time I watched this movie, it's like I was watching that film. I actually got to the bit, the bit with the cops driving through town and everything's going a bit crazy. My family were lapping it up, laughing, roaring with laughter, and all I could see was the carnage. And part of it was, I could see that element of it, but part of it was the way everybody else seemed to be finding this hilarious. Just doubled the horror for me. And I actually had to make them turn it off for 5 minutes so I could calm down.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. Obviously, I got over that glitch, and it is a perennial favourite for so many reasons.
Oh, well, like you, I didn't see this at the cinema. It was a home movie rental. I'm not sure if I saw it at home. I've got a feeling I want to say I saw it somewhere else.
What, like at a friend's house or something?
I think it was possibly at my cousin's in London.
Okay.
Because I had cousins who were about 7 or 8 years older than us.
Ah, right.
And yeah, because I would have only been... Well, yeah, this came out shortly before my 10th birthday. Yeah, it would have probably been the year after. And I think it was down there. I think it was my cousin Milan who showed it to us.
Oh, okay, right.
When we were down there. Unlike you, unfortunately, I just... lapped it up.
Oh, right.
It just washed over me, It was a funny thing with puppets and and then it wasn't until a bit later when you got back to watch it that you understood a bit more of the nuance to it.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah, exactly.
It wasn't until sort of second or third watch when I was like, yeah, that's pretty grim. I mean, I suppose the only moment that obviously does stick out is the microwave.
Oh, right, yeah.
That was first times when you got to see something quite horrific, in what's ostensibly a kid's film or family film.
It was pretty horrific, come to think of it, yeah.
Again, it's one of the elements why this is, it's a film of firsts, if you like. It was the first time for Joe Dante working with Spielberg. Mm-hmm. It was the first time Chris Columbus had one of his scripts picked up by a mainline studio. First starring role for Zach Galligan.
Yes.
All those kind of things. But it's also, interestingly enough, one of the two films that came out in 1984 that gave us the PG-13 rating.
The other being...
Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Ah, Raiders, right.
Yeah.
Okay. Test
audiences and a lot of parents were a little bit horrified and they'd wanted to slap an R rating on it. And so it was actually Spielberg who went to the board of censors and said, we need something else.
Hang on a minute. Do you mean Temple of Doom?
Did I say Raiders?
You did say Raiders.
Sorry, I did mean Temple of Doom.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, my bad. It's just automatic. You say Indiana Jones, I go Raiders. But yeah, no, Temple of Doom was the other one that came out. And so it's because of these that we ended up with the PG-13.
Well, you know,
Which is crazy, because this is now 50.
Yes, well, they've recognised there were some dark elements in it. I don't think it deserves to be a 15. I think it deserves to be a PG. I think we've just gotten way too soft with our ratings. If you want it to be family friendly, that's what U is for.
Yeah,
absolutely. PG is, there's going to be some grown-up stuff.
Yeah.
That's why it says PG. Parental guidance. You know, warning, there may be some grown-up stuff that you'll have to explain to your kids. Yeah, I just don't feel like it deserves to be a 15.
No. But there is, again, lovely stuff in it. It was made as a homage to so many different things. To those of us of a certain age will recognise when you watch it that this was made on what is now known traditionally as the Hill Valley set.
Oh, yes, of course, yes.
Yeah. And it was designed to ape, I was going to say Pottersville. It's not Pottersville, is it?
Oh, Bedford Falls.
Yes, yeah. That's what it was designed to inspire you. And there's loads of little nods in the film. You know, it's like try and spot all the different movie references.
Oh, so many. I swear I'd noticed a couple of new ones in there, and I'm not even sure what the reference was, so I just noticed them.
I mean, even, you know, it took a few watches to spot the thing with the time machine.
Yeah, I didn't notice that one until the 90s.
Yeah, and it was like, hang on, rewind.
Well, no, I noticed the time machine. I didn't notice that the time machine disappeared.
Yeah.
You know, it's actually working.
And again, they tried to get as many cameos as they could in. There's even, like I said, brief cameo from Spielberg, the composer Jerry Goldsmith.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, all in one scene pretty much as well.
But it is absolutely fabulous. I think it's your turn to tell us what the beef.
What's the beef? Okay, yeah, right. Well, so this is the tale of Billy Peltzer and his family and friends, and the adventure that he goes on when he receives a rather unusual Christmas present in the form of a little creature known as a mogwai that comes with a very special set of rules.
But what I do have are a very particular set of skills
that absolutely must be followed. As we all know, young people are really good at following rules.
Oh, of course they are.
And therefore, fun, shenanigans, and stuff ensues.
Apparently, Chris Columbus got the idea because at the time he was living in New York, living in a pretty shitty apartment that was infested with mice.
Oh, right.
And he was, he basically had his couch to sleep on. And sometimes, like when he was asleep, his arm would like fall off the side of the couch, and he'd feel these things, like these little furry things, scuttle past his hand.
Oh, right.
And stuff. And he was always obviously worried that they might bite him or whatever. But that's what put this idea of these little creatures.
Okay.
And it was a combination of that, and also because he was living on such a low budget, a lot of the time he would go and spend a lot of time in Chinatown. To go and eat and stuff like that. And he was just captivated by just the dearth of culture and ideas and stuff. And he kind of...
Okay.
That's what he sort of drew on those two things to put together. Apparently, Mogwai. He looked it up in a US Chinese dictionary. It's Chinese for devil.
Oh! Okay, so like in so many films, the clue is there if you're speaking the right language.
Exactly. Yeah, but as I said at the beginning, it's one that did really, really well. It was made on a budget of $11 million and grossed just shy of $213 million worldwide.
Yeah, I'm not surprised at all. It was a big deal. Even I remember even before it came out, like all the sticker books and everything that came out, there was a huge amount of hype that came along with it, and everybody was like, ooh, you know, it's the next big thing.
Yeah, apparently it took more in its second weekend than it did in its first.
Yeah, I'm not surprised at all. And of course, fed into so many things. I mean, merchandising alone for this thing.
Yes.
You know, cuddly mogwais, little figure mogwais, gremlin mogwais, bendy ones, all sorts of things.
It's interesting though as well, though, that this one, like Ghostbusters, for such a hit straight out of the gate, took so long to get a sequel. I know it didn't take I don't think it was quite as long as Ghostbusters, but it was quite a while between this and Gremlins 2, wasn't it? It was like 3-4 years?
Yeah, it's not far off. It's not far off as long as Ghostbusters.
Yeah, just curious that it took so long to find something to do with it. But then again, I suppose it was designed, it is a package within itself,
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
It's difficult to come up with something to reinvigorate that. It's interesting that they've never done anything with it since.
Well, for starters, I mean, I happen to know that Dante refused to have anything to do with the sequel unless he was given complete creative control, which he got. And that is why we got the movie that we did. But that's one of the reasons it took so long, because it took that long for the executives to go, okay, you can have what you want. For a long time, they were trying to have their cake and eat it, you know. But Dante was like, no, if I'm making this, I'm making it my way.
Yeah.
And that's the only way I'm going to do it. And they ended up having to give in to his demands. And that's why we got the Gremlins 2 we did.
I must admit, it's been a long time since I've seen that one. I know it's not as good.
It's incredibly meta.
Yeah. I think I'd possibly get more out of it than if I watched it now than when I first watched it.
I imagine you would. Yeah, absolutely.
I might have to give it another look. But anyway, sorry, that's talking about other films. But this one, well, it's if you're going to watch it, now's the time to watch it. Because obviously, with Christmas just around the corner, I wouldn't be surprised if it's on streaming somewhere. It's one of the ones that they wheel out every year.
It is a perennial classic for so many reasons.
Yes. Gotta love the 80s.
Yes, absolutely, you know.
And again, I can't remember whose idea it was to throw this in the ring with Hellraiser. It did kind of work.
Yeah, it did. It did. We had fun with it.
We did, yeah, absolutely.
We did have fun with it.
Absolutely. There was an interesting thing I did find out, sorry, last little anecdote that I did find out. Apparently, Hoyt Axton, so he was an actor, and I think it's a little feature of him doing like walk-arounds from the set.
Yeah.
He was saying that like some of the earlier stuff he did, he was in an episode of Bonanza and stuff like that.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But he was predominantly a musician.
Oh.
And his mother was a musician and a songwriter, and apparently wrote Heartbreak Hotel.
Oh. Okay.
So, you know.
Things you never knew.
Yeah, so, you know, a nice degree of prestige there. Not surprisingly, it's another one that's going to get all of these.
Yep, all of these. It's a great family classic. It's a great seasonal classic. It's a great movie. Go watch it.
Definitely. Again, see how much stuff you can spot in it. Enjoy it for what it is. You know, some of the work that they've done on this, the technical work on it, is just incredible. Apparently, with a lot of the stuff with Gizmo, he had Zach Galligan. He was basically wired up to him.
Yeah, I noticed in certain poses you can't see his hands at all. He's completely inside the...
And the wires were all through his body, and they're basically running down his trousers, and there was a hole in his sock.
For the robotics guys to be doing their thing?
Yeah, so he might have like a dozen wires sticking out of his shoe, basically. And just this entourage of puppeteers.
I can imagine. Well, it's great work. It's so lifelike. It's so fast and fluid. It almost looks like it's been professionally animated. It's not. It's robotics. But they did such an amazing job with what they'd created. It does look very real.
One of the things about it, which I thought was just kind of scary almost, but it's also kind of cool, because when they were going between takes and they didn't have time, you know, because of the way the Mogwai model is, they couldn't really sort of change things. So to change expressions, they had like a default expression, and it was basically a rip-off, so they'd rip off the model's face, and then put a different one with a slightly different expression on.
Oh god, that must have been a bit nightmarish every time they ripped off his face. Yeah.
But the last thing, which I did spot this time watching it, for a lot of the close-up shots of Gizmo.
Yeah.
They made an oversized one.
That doesn't surprise me. It would mean they could get more control in the textures of the face and stuff.
Exactly. And so wherever he was, like if he's in Billy's bag or whatever, they'd have to make oversized pencils and everything. And all of this kind of stuff for it.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah.
But anyway, sorry, I'm just going to run on technical stuff because I'm finding it fascinating, sort of looking into that a bit more.
Absolutely, yeah.
But yes, so this is going to be our last one of these for the year. We will be back with some more movie nostalgia in 2025.
Indeed, we will.
And if you feel the need to have a bit of a clear out after the excesses of Christmas, there's no need to worry, Sam. The pain is temporary. It'll stop when Hurley hits the back of your teeth. Have a very Merry Christmas, everybody. Look after yourselves and one another. When we will see you from this sofa, we will see you in 2025.
As always, guys, TTFN.
Go deep on them.
Agent Hurley?
Oh. No!
Beep, 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 beep.